Do you frequently find yourself thinking back on all the many games you've played throughout the years? Only a handful of video games will spring to memory if you try to list them off the top of your head. You'll discover there are a lot more amazing games than you initially believed if you stop and think back on all the wonderful ones you love, whether they're old or new. We've worked incredibly hard to narrow that enormous list down to a manageable 10, and we're here to tell you all about them. Stay a while and read these 10 facts about your favorite gaming experiences. Number 1. A custom-made demo of SimCity 2000 is exhibited in the New York Museum of Modern Art. SimCity 2000, one of the 12 video games regarded as the ideal forerunners of applied design, was included to the Museum of Modern Art's galleries in 2012. Many of the games on display can be played in some capacity. SimCity 2000 has a demo that was specifically created for the exhibition because of how big the game is. Number 2. The Dragon Paternax in The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim is voiced by the same man who voices Nintendo's Mario. That's right, both the leader of the Greybeards with the deep husky voice and Nintendo's most iconic character with his high-pitched Italian accent is voiced by Charles Martinet. Linda Carter, Miss World USA 1972, Christopher Plummer, Charles F. Muntz from Pixar's Up, and Michael Hogan are a few additional well-known names behind some of Skyrim's voices. Colonel Saltai from Battlestar Galactica. Number 3. Gears of War 2 was featured in AMC's The Walking Dead. During a flashback in the final episode of Season 10 of The Walking Dead, the season's antagonist, Negan, can be seen playing Gears of War 2. Although it appears that Negan is playing multiplayer with a few other players, astute watchers noticed that the gameplay was from the game's campaign, notably Act 2. Number 4. Left 4 Dead 2 was so popular that an expansion was released 11 years after the original launch date. In terms of zombie survival games, Left 4 Dead 2 has a gameplay model that is exceedingly difficult to top. The fact that it still had a devoted fan base 10 years after debut and very good graphics for its time is due to this combination of factors. The game's creators, Valve, had originally intended to construct a next-generation sequel but changed their minds and created the Last Stand expansion for what is known as the game that refuses to die. Number 5. Rockstar Games hired real-life gang members to voice background characters in Grand Theft Auto V. The producers chose to avoid using goofy LA actors, who gave the characters they portrayed little more than 2 dimensions, in an effort to give the game's fictional criminal underworld as much credibility as possible. A man was hired by Rockstar Games to travel around and find real criminals to voice the part because many of the background characters are gangsters who are members of Latino and black gangs. Many people who read their scripts rejected them because they weren't genuine enough, so they recorded their own version in their place. Number 6. Half-Life was listed as the best-selling first-person shooter of all time, PC, in the 2008 Gamers edition of the Guinness Book of World Records. Half-Life not only dramatically reinvented the PC first-person shooter genre, but it also had a sci-fi tale that was immensely mind-bending. It's understandable why it ended up selling more than 9.3 million copies in retail stores alone by 2008, earning the title of greatest shooter since the first Doom game according to IGN. It received numerous perfect 10s from game journalists and reviewers, and in 1999, 2001, and 2005, PC Gamer named it the best PC game ever. Number 7. The creators of PUBG tried to sue the makers of Fortnite. You might mistakenly believe that both of the Battle Royale giants are essentially the same game if you haven't played either of them. Bluehole, the developer of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, PUBG, evidently believed the same thing because they tried to sue Epic Games for allegedly copying their Battle Royale game style in Fortnite. We wonder if they were aware that the concept had already been used in other media types for a while, such as the Japanese Battle Royale movie that was released in 2000. Number 8. There are multiple references in Batman and Arkham City to ABC's hit TV series Lost. First off, did you know that none other than Mark Hamill of Star Wars fame provides the voice of the Joker in Batman: Arkham City? It turns out that Hamill was a huge Lost fan, and during one of the Joker's speeches, he was able to slip in a nod to his favorite show. Additionally, if you linger long enough in the game, you might hear some background criminals speculating aloud on whether the island in Lost has ever been properly described. Number 9. The studio behind Thief 2, The Metal Age ran out of money, so they donated their tools to the game's fans to expand upon the game. Despite the fact that their games became instant cult favorites, Looking Glass Studios was forced to close in 2000 due to a series of financial setbacks. The unofficial but exceptionally well-crafted expansion pack Thief 2X Shadows of the Metal Age was made possible by the developers' generosity. More than 3,000 lines of dialogue, a variety of new missions, cutscenes, and a whole new playable character were all included in the game. Making the expansion a reality required more than 60 people to work tirelessly for 5 years. The last, number 10. The initial designs for the Little Sisters in BioShock were absolutely horrifying. In a reality required more than 60 people to work tirelessly for 5 years. The goal of Little Sisters, originally referred to by the game studio as Gatherers, was to gather a rare substance known as Adam from the bodies that were lying about the area. The Gatherers from BioShock had some equally terrifying first designs. For instance, there was a frog with a funnel poking out of its butt, and there was what appeared to be a Doberman in a wheelchair. Fortunately, the game developer went with eerily beautiful young girls to elicit sympathy from the gamer. And that was a collection of videos about 10 interesting facts about your favorite video games. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe this channel.